Good morning. I'm Bob Redding, ASA's Washington, D.C. representative, speaking to you from our Capitol Hill, Washington, D.C. offices. Early this morning, U.S. Senate and administration negotiators came to agreement on key provisions of the coronavirus stimulus package, the largest single rescue package in American history, a multi-trillion-dollar piece of legislation. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell of Kentucky announced a few minutes ago on the Senate floor that the Senate would vote later today on the package. The text of the legislation, because they finished in the wee hours this morning, is not available as of yet, but will be later today. The Senate will pass this bipartisan legislation later today. House leadership will attempt to move this same bill by unanimous consent as soon as possible, which could be as early as this evening or tomorrow. Unfortunately, any one member of the U.S. House of Representatives can object, and the House will then have two options. One, a voice vote, which may be sufficient to move it, or if we go to a roll call vote, members of the House of Representatives will have to drive and fly back to Washington to have an actual in-person vote, which could delay the package for 1 or 2 days. What's in this bill for independent automotive repairers? The legislation, the agreement, has increased funds to be made available to small businesses and now stands at $367 billion. $367 billion. This includes emergency loans that have some loan forgiveness provisions. It's our understanding that these forgiveness provisions encompass mortgage interest, rent, utilities, and payroll during a finite period of time. However, until we see the legislation's text later today or this evening, this has not been confirmed. So we know it will have loan forgiveness provisions. We don't know the specifics of this until later today. In addition, the bill includes $10 billion for SBA emergency grants of up to $10,000 to provide immediate relief for small business operating costs. An additional $17 billion for SBA to cover 6 months of payments for small businesses with existing SBA loans. $17 billion to cover at least up to 6 months of payments for small businesses with existing SBA loans. In addition, a retention tax credit for employers to encourage businesses to keep workers on the payroll during this current coronavirus crisis. The process, I'd like to reiterate, the Senate will pass the bill later today. It has much bipartisan support. It will pass. The House will first try to pass the bill by unanimous consent today or tomorrow. If any one member of the House objects, the House will have to vote by voice vote or allow a roll call vote where members have to drive back and fly back to Washington, likely tomorrow or Friday. What should I do now as an automotive repairer? Please follow the ASA media platforms closely during the next 48 hours. Please follow the ASA media platforms closely during the next 48 hours. We will publish links to important information for automotive repair shops. Once the bill is finalized, the administration and SBA will make detailed information available for shops to consider. In addition, ASA is working on what we believe to be helpful instructions for shops to pursue once President Trump has signed the legislation, hopefully by tomorrow or Friday. Thank you for your time this morning, and we will communicate with you as these important events occur. Good day.